The desert wind whipped around Zara, stinging her face with sand. She squinted, her gaze fixed on the towering figure before her. Xylar, the alien warrior woman, stood easily 10 feet tall, her skin a shimmering obsidian, her eyes glowing with an inner fire. Xylar's armor was a masterpiece of alien craftsmanship, shimmering and pulsating with contained energy. Zara, by contrast, looked small and insignificant, clad in simple, worn leather, her face smudged with dirt. "No human can defeat me," Xylar boomed, her voice echoing across the barren landscape. "Your species is weak, fragile. You are insects, compared to the might of the Zidonian Empire." Zara just smiled, a slow, easy smile that crinkled the corners of her eyes. "Begin," she said, her voice calm and steady, a stark contrast to Xylar's booming pronouncements. The air crackled with tension. Behind Zara, a small group of humans watched with a mixture of fear and hope. There was Marcus, the grizzled veteran, his face etched with the scars of countless battles. Lena, the young engineer, her fingers nervously fidgeting with a small device. And old man Silas, the historian, his eyes filled with ancient knowledge. They were the last hope of humanity, a ragtag group against an overwhelming force. Xylar laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "You are brave, little human, I'll give you that, but bravery will not save you." She raised a hand, and a weapon materialized from the energy of her armor, a long, wicked-looking blade that hummed with power. Zara didn't flinch. She reached behind her and drew her own weapon, a simple, well-worn sword, a relic from a bygone era. It was nothing compared to Xylar's advanced weaponry, but it felt right in her hand, an extension of her own will. The fight began with a speed that defied the eye. Xylar lunged, her blade a blur of motion. Zara parried, the clang of metal against metal ringing out in the desert air. Xylar was strong, incredibly so, but Zara was fast, agile. She danced around Xylar's attacks, using her smaller size to her advantage. "You cannot hope to withstand my power," Xylar growled, her frustration growing. "Surrender now, and I will grant you a quick death." "I'm not planning on surrendering," Zara replied, her voice still calm, still steady. She knew she couldn't match Xylar's strength, but she had something else, something the alien warrior didn't understand. Human ingenuity, human resilience, human spirit. The battle raged on, a whirlwind of steel and energy. Xylar pressed her attack, her blade carving furrows in the sand. Zara dodged, weaved, and parried, her movements precise, economical. She was slowly tiring, but she refused to give in. Marcus watched, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew Zara was their only chance. He had seen her fight before, had seen her overcome impossible odds. But this was different. This was Xylar, a warrior of unimaginable power. Lena, meanwhile, was working feverishly, her fingers flying across the controls of her device. It was a long shot, a desperate gamble, but it was all they had. The device was designed to disrupt Xylar's energy field, to weaken her armor. But it needed time to calibrate, time that Zara was desperately trying to buy. Old man Silas watched with a knowing look in his eyes. He had studied the history of the Zidonian Empire, knew their strengths and their weaknesses. He knew that their reliance on technology made them vulnerable, that their arrogance blinded them to the true potential of humanity. As the fight continued, Zara noticed a pattern in Xylar's attacks. The alien warrior relied on brute force, on overwhelming power. She didn't anticipate, didn't adapt. Zara saw an opening, a tiny chink in Xylar's armor. With a burst of speed, Zara lunged forward, her sword aimed at Xylar's chest. Xylar blocked the blow, but Zara used the momentum to spin around, her sword now aimed at Xylar's leg. The blade struck home, slicing through the armor. Xylar roared in pain and surprise. She stumbled back, clutching her leg. "Impossible!" she cried. "No human could penetrate my defenses." You underestimate us, Zara said, her voice hardening. We may be small, but we're not weak. We're resourceful, we're determined, and we never give up. Lena shouted, Zara, now! I've got a lock! Zara nodded, her eyes fixed on Xylar. She knew this was her chance. She charged, her sword raised high. Xylar tried to retaliate, but Lena's device had done its work. Xylar's energy field flickered, weakened. Zara's sword struck true, piercing Xylar's heart. The alien warrior woman gasped, her eyes widening in disbelief. She staggered, then collapsed to the ground, her massive body shaking the earth. Silence descended upon the desert. Zara stood over Xylar's body, her chest heaving, her sword dripping with alien blood. She had done it. She had defeated the invincible alien warrior. Marcus rushed forward, his face beaming. You did it, Zara! You actually did it! Lena ran to Zara's side, her eyes shining with tears of relief. I can't believe it worked. I thought it was a long shot. Old man Silas approached slowly, his eyes filled with pride. You have proven once again the resilience of the human spirit, he said. You have given us hope. Zara smiled, a weary but triumphant smile. She knew the fight wasn't over. The Zidonian Empire would come again. But for now, they had won a victory against impossible odds. It's not over, Zara said, her voice firm, but we've shown them that we won't be easy to defeat. We'll keep fighting, keep resisting, until we're free. She looked out at the horizon, at the endless expanse of the desert. The wind still whipped around her, but now it felt different, cleaner, carrying with it the scent of hope. Humanity had a chance, a fighting chance, and that was all that mattered. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. And Zara knew they would face more trials and tribulations. But for now, they had proven that even the smallest of creatures could overcome the greatest of obstacles with courage, intelligence, and an unwavering spirit. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the sand, Zara knew that the future of humanity rested on their shoulders, and she was ready to carry that burden, one step at a time.